Good evening and welcome to Realty Coffee Talk on Awaz Entertainment. My name is Tahir Qureshi. I'm a fellow of Real Estate Bureau of Canada, broker of record for City Pro Realty Inc. brokerage. I'm your host. Tonight we're going to talk about housing affordability and mortgage risks. As you might have heard from the news that the Premier of Ontario has set up a task force to assess housing affordability in the province of Ontario, and gladly this topic was discussed in the federal election. As you know, the election of Ontario municipal election is coming up in June in 2022. Therefore, this is a top priority for Ontario government to take this on and set up a task force. We are very happy that Ontario Real Estate Professional Association President Tim Hudak is representing realtors in Ontario. So they will be able to express our position, how to cope up with this problem. The biggest thing is rental rates are going up, affordability of ownership is becoming a difficult task, and they need to boost the supply of the housing to complete communities, reduce the red tape, and digitize the approval process, a planning process. These are the few things that is very, very important that they have to do. We have said that in the past episode that they must, the federal, provincial, and municipality, all they need to work together to make sure the housing shortage and supply is resolved. Therefore, affordability may not become an issue. And shockingly, I just received the report from Toronto Regional Real Estate Board, Market Watch for November. And would you be surprised to see that? 55.9% less property entered the MLS system. In active listing in November 2020, when we were already COVID, was 13,798. And in November 2021, we have a 6,086 listing. So you can imagine that why we have a multiple offers, because there is a shortage of supply. 55.9% less housing available for the buyers to buy. That's why you have a multiple offers and only one winner and so many disappointed buyers and as well as real estate professional. So you have to plan your things when you want to buy, and you're going to encourage all your potential MPPs, candidate, and city councilor to improve the approving process, digitize it, to make it affordable. We're going to try to reach out to potential candidates, also leader of the parties, and also the mayors, to make sure they provide us some feedback and join our Awaz Entertainment and talk to our audience so they know what are they doing for them. They are the elected, paid by you. They are elected. They're going to solve this problem for all of us. So we're hoping that very soon this task force will make recommendation, hopefully before election time, and they're going to take some corrective action to do that. Now, let's talk about the mortgage. This is very important. I'm going to talk about few things about the risk penalties, because when the unemployment is going to rise or people are losing their job, they can't afford it, and they have to end up canceling or terminating their lease agreement, go on default, or trying to negotiate a better deal. What kind of penalty they expect from them if they are entering into that? So let's talk about that. Then we're going to talk about the Financial Services Regulator Authority in Ontario, FSRA, how they help you. You remember, Real Estate Council of Ontario is regulator for realtors, real estate professional, where FSRA deals with the mortgage brokerage. Because we are related to the real estate and mortgage brokerage, we're going to talk about that. For your information and disclosure, I am principal broker with Canada Express Mortgage Brokerage, license number 13241. I'm licensed to practice in mortgages. I'm a complying officer under MBLLA. That's a Mortgage Lender and Administrative Act of 2006 that deals with the mortgages. So we're going to talk about it. Let's talk about the penalties about risk rates, because this was topic that I discussed before. So basically, when they say, how are the fixed rate penalties calculated? The formula is you have mortgage balance times 3 penalty. Example, let's say you have a $300,000 mortgage remaining and your variable rate is 3%. The approximate penalty would be $2,250. Interest rate differential has 2 calculations that they use. And how do they calculate interest rate differential penalty? So the bank will subtract your discount from the posted 3-year term rate, given you a discount, let's assume 1.45%, from the interest rate differential, let's assume is 2.89. They subtract 1.45 and they give you a rate of 1.44. That will be differential, and they're going to time it with 3. So if differential is 1.44, they're going to time 3 and 4.32%. That is going to apply to the balance of the mortgage that you have. That give you approximately, if you have a 300,000, 12,960. Let's assume your mortgage is for 3 years. So that is the money that you have to pay. It doesn't apply when you're doing a variable. And can I pay off my mortgage early without penalty? That's the other question comes in. The federal law prohibits some mortgages from having prepayment penalties. But if you're canceling an existing firm fixed price 5-year mortgage, or 3 years mortgage or 4 years mortgage, that penalty is calculated using a interest differential rate. Whatever the balance is, the differential rate is multiplied times the number of years remaining. That gives you the rate, then you multiply with the amount that you owe on the mortgage. For example, again, if your rate was 5%, but they gave you 2%, so that means they give you 3% discount from the original rate. That's the difference they're going to multiply with number of years. And then they're going to apply it to remaining balance to come up with a penalty. This is very important when you have a fixed price mortgage. So what is IRD? The IRD is based on amount you are prepaying, an interest rate that equals the difference between your original mortgage rate and the interest rate that the lender can charge you today. So there is a rate differential. And they make more money, they take the risk, they give you a discount, but they can charge you back if it's a fix. Because of this uncertainty of employment and a lot of challenges, you're bound to fix the rate, because you don't want to escalate the rate and you end up paying more money and you can't afford it. You may end up selling your house or you get a default. So this is why it's very, very important to budget it and plan it. This is where you have the rate differential impact. For example, you have a 30 years amortization and you want to pay in 15 years. So what you can do, you can add double up payments. You can add annual payments that all the lenders will allow you 10% to 15%. Or you can change the amortization of the loan from 30 years to 15 years to get you to pay. So you always know that you can end up paying more money if you break the agreement. So this is very important that when you are negotiating your rate, be aware of that that there is a fixed mortgage, has interest differential rate that can be applied to you. So when they give you discounted rate, that means they're going to come back and recollect from you whatever the current rate is minus the rate they offer you, and they multiply with the number of years remaining, and then the amount that you owe at that time for duration of the period, and they will charge you money. So this is very, very important for you to make sure that you are checking with your broker who is providing you. Now, we're going to talk about FISRA, the Mortgage Brokers, Lender and Administrative Act 2006. If you go to their site, you can check a lot of things. First of all, this regime they are regulator, they act on behalf of Ontario government. They want to make sure all licensed broker and agent brokerage are accountable. They're honest. They're competent. They're getting their education. They are in compliance to the law, MBLLA. They also want to disclose if there is a conflict of interest in terms of arranging a mortgage. You make sure that they have a policy, they establish conflict of interest, and security and confidentiality. They keep your information secure, lock and key, and also protect your interest. And they also want to make sure that there is their ethical integrity and respect when they're dealing with the consumer. And they also cooperate with the regulator because they want to compliance to make sure they're doing inspection, they are in compliance. So this is why it's very, very important that you understand. The few things I want to talk to you, then we'll talk about the real issue. The biggest thing is affordability and and risk of getting a mortgage. This is very, very important. I'm going to pinpoint few areas that is very important for deciding how much money you need and how can you afford to borrow. So the most important thing is your fiscal situation. When you are trying to make a decision in buying a house or a commercial property, what is your financial situation? Can you handle it? This is one of the very important things. Not only the financial position of you to handle that mortgage that has been calculated by pre-approval all through the mortgage, and also what would be the future financial position during the term of your mortgage loan. If you fix it, it's going to be 5 years, 4 years, 3 years. So you are making commitment for that period. Are you able to protect yourself? Are you in a position to handle the risk? This is why it's very well. And how long you plan to own the house. This is one of the other issues that you talk about it. And having a mortgage seller buy a different home. Because how long you plan to own a house? Or do you plan to downsize or expand or get a bigger house when you plan to sell it? And then you are also to arrange a new house and you might need to get a new mortgage. Very frequently I get calls from people. They took 5%, they took a high-risk mortgage to get to CMHC, got the first loan, and a year later, they're still in a high-risk category. They have to have insurance, and they end up buying a detached home, a lot more money than they qualify. They don't get education. They get excited. They go to the builder, they got the house, or even to the realtor, they buy the house. Now issue is, you have used all your leverage to get your principal home in the beginning. Now you have bought an investment property that is treated very differently. The CRA will not give them a first-time home buyer rebate. Therefore, it's become investment property. And then you can add up all the HST that the builder normally collect from the CRA. Now buyer has to pay that. And even they registered as a new residence and they put the existing house into a rental and use that, still they have liabilities because they took a mortgage. And if they have put a 5% and you immediately within 1 year or two, you got the other house, you don't have too much equity. Unless you have a big equity, more than 20%, still you can put a down payment, but you may not qualify because it carries a loan. So this is why it's very important. You have to watch your financial situation during that you own the house, and if you plan to change it, what's going to be look like. So let's assume that you want to buy a new car. You want to start a family. They're going to cost you money. Buying a new car, depending type of car, or you're starting a family. Are you considering during the commitment that you are making that you have allocated funds for that? Lots of young new buyers are moving away from the city because they can afford a little bit more detached or semi or townhome away from the big city like Mississauga or Toronto. They need a travel time. They need to buy a card because they're going to travel time. They're going to use GO station. Go. They're going to need to pay a monthly expense, $300-400 per person. These are additional costs. If you take a car, you're paying for insurance, you're going for the car payment, you're going for gas, and wear, tear, and maintenance. These are the costs. So you have to budget that in your planning when you're buying a property. So these are the things you have to watch. And then economic climate. How secure is your job? This is very important. How essential you have. You have a special skill unique to the operation of the business that you are in, and that you see that you are protected because you have done an extra skill set that nobody can replace you, for example. Everybody is replaceable, but you may be doing more job more efficiently, more productively, and you are producing better result. So you are an important employee of your company. Now, other thing is economically, if something collapses in the marketplace, then what will happen? You may lose a job if you're self-employed. Maybe your job is affected. Remember, the food industry, hoteling, restaurants, all they were affected in COVID, and a lot of people were laid off, or funding support was provided by the federal government, and there was good federal government program, and it helped everybody. So these are the things you have to watch and put together because you want to know duration of the period you own the property, so you're well planned. And also the interest rate. If lots of people, I notice, they use variable rate because they think that the risk is that they can save some money and they will pay on. Yes, it works for you if you have a continuous income. You see that your risk are minimized. You have the affordability. You have the capacity to absorb the shock of increase. Because if interest rate increases, monthly payment will go more, and you want to make sure that you have risk. If you are talking about stress tests, in the past we have discussed that allows you up to 2% rate increases in a given period that you can qualify if you're qualified with the lenders, not the B lenders, but the main lender. They test to make sure that you can absorb the shock. But it is highly recommended if you are a fixed income employee, you want to mitigate and you want to control your expenses. So this is very important also, total cost of ownership. When you did the buy a property, did your realtor help you to give you what are the property taxes are? What type of home repair? When you bought a home, you did inspection, you know the roof is going to be changing, or washing machine has to be replaced, or maybe your heating system, HVAC is not working or is going to die on you. You have to have a contingency plan for that. And this is also the condominium fee. During this COVID, there is a reduction of income for everyone. And now cost of utilities is going up. Cost of food, clothing, anything that deals with the transportation, production, manufacturing, whatever, supply is increased, construction, costs going up. Therefore, you need to make sure you expect some increase in maintenance fee, and to make sure that they're gonna be prepared to carry on. Idea is when you are buying a property and you're going to maintain it yourself, that you're going to keep this house for 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, or forever. You are planning your expenses, you're forecasting, creating your budget. This is why, come to me. Call me 416-451-3489. I help you put together a budget. That way you are safe, and I will let you only buy when you can afford it and you can manage your expenses and you have a steady income, and make sure that you are prepared well. Now, the value of property will increase. And surprisingly, as you can see, I have mentioned there, our average price in GTA 416905 area, we're going to talk about it, is increased in November. Last November to this November, 21.7% increase. So I'm not too concerned the price of the value is going down. It's going to go up. Okay? We're going to talk about later on after the break about what prices have gone through, because I need to share with you the data of the home prices, detached homes, semi, condos, and apartment after our break. But this is, what will happen if the mortgage rate, you have a mortgage rate go up and you have unusual circumstances, you have to break the mortgage or borrow more money for your loans for your student. Like a parent, when you send kids to higher education, you borrow money. I do, everybody else does. So this is why we have to prepare ourselves to make sure that we are able to handle the extra mortgage. Now, risk of drop in your income. This is very, very critical. Majority of us, even myself, we have a drop of income because we were not able to go out. Being a senior person, I limited myself to certain type of transaction to make sure I'm not exposing myself to the risk. And COVID-21 was really bad. And you can look at this, the shortage of supply. Multiple offer we put in, no success. We were able to achieve success to the point where we have to give the maximum value. Now, important thing is, what is the debt and risk tolerance? This is why it's very, very important for a borrower when you go and consult with a mortgage broker. I'm going to tell you site where to go and get some information. This is very, very critical to understand the debt, how much liability you have, total liability, or TDS is called total debt service. Bank allow you 40%, maybe allow you 42% of total debt. That means including mortgage, interest, student loan, visa payment, car payments, everything should not exceed more than 40%. GDS is gross debt service. That does not include the taxes and your student loans and visa payments and all that stuff. That should be only 30%, not to exceed. Plus, because you have a good income, verifiable income, you have a notice of assessment, you have a T4, T4As, and you own some equity, and you have a less liability, and you have good credit score history, and there's a good report coming from Equifax or TransUnion. This is very important. They will manage it. Make sure. If you think that you cannot afford it, don't force yourself and the realtor to buy your property. You're taking a big risk in this environment, and you're going to be in trouble. You may be able to get the mortgage somehow, not in a proper manner. Maybe you end up buying for a mortgage or arranging a mortgage through a B lender and paying higher interest rate. The more interest rates, the more monthly payment you will be paying. Is it worth it? No, it's not. Therefore, it's very, very important to think about the debt and risk involved. We're going to take you to FISRA site, and I'm going to read you a few things that you can go and visit and verify certain information when you're talking to a mortgage broker to get a mortgage. And make sure you avoid breaking law, breaching the MBLLA, and get in trouble. Realtor who are also mortgage agent or agent who are trying to falsify documents to get a mortgage is illegal, is criminal. You could be charged. So we're going to talk about that break. We're going to take a small break and we'll come back and continue our conversation on mortgage risks.
आपकी रिहाइश ऐसी हो जहां जिंदगी की सहूलत मयसर हो, जो आपको बुलंदियों पर ले जाए। तो मिलिए रियल एस्टेट मार्केट के एक्सपीरियंस्ड रियल एस्टेट प्रोफेशनल अमित ओबेरॉय से। GTA में रियल एस्टेट मार्केट के हर अंदाज से वाकिफ। आपको घर खरीदना हो, बेचना हो या करना हो मुनाफे का इन्वेस्टमेंट, मेरे तजुर्बे से आज ही फायदा उठाएं। आज ही कॉल करें अमित ओबेरॉय 647-291-8102। Amit Oberoi, beautiful homes you can afford.
Zoc. Now it's fully renovated. Live catering, barbecue, tandoor, जलेबियाँ और fresh naan. तकरीब आपके घर में हो या घर से बाहर, Zoc is providing full service now, and Zoc has opened a new banquet hall, garden event center. आपका Zoc देखकर लोग कहेंगे क्या Zoc है आपका? Call right now 905-625-7786. Zoc वालों के लिए। अगर आप चाहते हैं खूबसूरत विजिटिंग कार्ड, साइन बोर्ड्स, बिल बोर्ड्स, तो कॉल कीजिए अमनदीप सिंह को 416-577-5128 416 डिजिटल साइन।
कॉर्पोरेट इवेंट्स हो या शादी की तकरीब, बर्थडे एनिवर्सरीज हो या हो बेबी शावर, और अगर आप चाहते हैं स्टूडियो सेटअप, रेंटल बैकड्रॉप्स, हार गजरे या पार्टीज के लिए फ्रेश फ्लावर अरेंजमेंट, देन कॉल आफिया खान at 416-628-7849. Essence Event Deco, creative, elegant and unique.
Welcome to Realty Coffee Talk on Awaz Entertainment in Canada around the world. We're talking about housing affordability and mortgage risks. The Financial Services Regulatory Authority of Ontario has a beautiful website. You can call fsrao.ca. In order for you to learn about mortgage brokerage, you visit there. It will explain you what is a mortgage agent, what is a mortgage broker, what is a mortgage brokerage, and what is a mortgage administrator. You need, as a consumer, to learn about that. It's very, very important. So go to fsrao.ca and click on this link to learn about it. Learn about the mortgage itself. They have a beautiful site. They have such a good information that we talk about. That is, understand the risk of getting a mortgage. This is why very important to understand the risk involved. I went through the list of things with you. Saving for a house, a mortgage. When you have to decide to go and buy a house, you must have saving. You have a saving. It gives you guidelines. And shop around for a mortgage. And this is the beauty about mortgage brokerage business, that a mortgage brokerage can ask various lenders to give you the mortgage. A lenders, those national banks, and also B lender or secondary banks, they can give you a good rate and discount. Also, the mortgage brokerage can buy down the rate. And this is the facility that we have as a mortgage brokerage. I'm a principal broker of Canada Express Mortgaging, license number 13241. We can buy down the discount. At this facility, what happens is the broker get paid for their services. And they give back some commission back to the bank to give them a better rate for their client. So you also learn about what type of kind of mortgages available, for fixed price or your variable. And you can check that definition. Is a very lengthy information. And then what is the application process? In general, you will need to learn that what the process is. You complete an application, you disclose all your documents, you give a consent to go and check your credit bureau, and you provide all income statement, your liabilities, all your asset that you have, cash saving you have, and you have a good credit report. And without your consent, the broker cannot download or any report from Equifax or TransUnion. So this is the process you need to learn. And your home buying team, I always said that. You have a lawyer, you have a home inspector, you have a mortgage broker, lender, or the bank, and you have a environmental specialist if you are dealing with the the septic tank and other environmental issues, conservation authority specialists, engineers, depends what you're doing, buying residential or commercial. So you need phase 1, phase 2 of your environment. So this all relates to it. You need to know that. Get a team together and let them work with you from the day you start the journey of hiring a realtor and then working with them to everyone to give you support as you begin the journey of buying your house or a commercial. So using a mortgage broker or agent, we all follow the same law, the OFC rules that are given to us, like bank are using it. So you have to disclose your income, all income. You have a T4A or T4s, then you have a note of assessment for Canada Revenue Agency. We need that. Asset, if you own property, and all the liability. We need a statement for all your student loans, any money you borrow, a line of credit, or student loans, or car payments, everything needs to be disclosed. And then your affordability is calculated, and we have to see what product is suitable. This is very, very important for you to understand that. Then mortgage contract, when you are negotiating a mortgage contract, you must read that. When you have a lawyer working with you, you can have them to review your mortgage commitment letter as a part of your process. This is very important. And paying for your mortgage. And you also have to prepare your mindset that how you're going to pay this mortgage. Monthly payment, bi-weekly payment, accelerated mortgage, because if you want to pay off your loan sooner, you can have a weekly, you can have a bi-weekly, accelerated mortgage, you can pay down payment, double up on a monthly basis, or you can also pay out annual. And you also learn to resolve mortgage complaint. You can go to FISRA and you can complain about it. There was a couple of things that I wrote down. When you go to FISRA, you will learn about mortgage sector and code of conduct of mortgage agent and broker and brokerage. You can file a complaint against a mortgage agent or broker. And there is something about syndicated mortgage. And then also mortgage fraud, what to watch. This is very important. There is a learning how to resolve a complaint, mortgage fraud, understand how to recognize and report a mortgage fraud. I have a seminar on that to explaining everyone about this. So it's very, very important for you to do that. What should I do if I was pressurized in an inappropriate mortgage? Let's assume you want a mortgage. You approach a broker. He forces you, pressurizes you to sign a mortgage where you are reluctant to do that. You can go to FISRA, FSRAO.ca, and complain. Because mortgage agent has to follow, brokers to follow the code of conduct by FISRA. And they should not be pressurizing. What can I do if a mortgage brokerage did not provide me a cooling off period? There is a 48 hours cooling off period before you made a commitment for the mortgage. If they don't give you you can waive that, but you have to make sure you have that cooling off period before you signed a mortgage. You have that. If you have a complaint, go to FSRAO.ca and complain. Right online, click and submit a complaint. Also, can the mortgage brokerage make me pay in advance. Mortgage agent or brokerage are not allowed to take the advance fees. Commercial is different. And also you learn about before investing in a syndicated mortgage if you're an investor. Check, and now most importantly, I have mentioned in the past many times, in Real Estate Council of Ontario, reco.on.ca, where you can verify the name of the realtor or real estate agent or real estate broker or real estate broker of record, and the brokerage to make sure they are active, they are licensed, and their license is valid. All information is free for public. Go to reco.on.ca, and you can find that out. Similarly, if you want to make sure the agent who is working with you or broker working with you or the mortgage brokerage working with you, their name is registered. There is a licensing link. If you go to fsrao.ca, you can check the name of the agent, broker, or brokerage. Each one have their own license. We are required by law to have the mortgage brokerage license number. For example, Canada Express Mortgage, I have a license number 13241. This is very, very important to have this information. Now, we're going to talk about real estate, so give you a little bit update on the November because November is here. So we're going to cut the story short. I'm going to give you a summary. So sales in 2020, we have 8,729. In 2021, November, this is all about November, we have a 9,017. So we are 3.3% higher than November last year to this November. So new listing, we have 11,556 in TREB list MLS system for 2020 November, and we have a 10,036 listing in November 2021, a reduction of 13.2% in November only. Active listing, we have 13,798 in 2020 November, and in November 2021 we have only 6,086, a reduction of minus 55.9%. We also have average price in November 2020 was 955,889, and average price now is 1,163,323 from in November 2021. That's a 21.7% jump. Now, average listing day on the market, it used to be 19 days in 2021 November, and now is only 13 days, minus 31.6%. So they're coming and going faster. Property day on market, it used to be 28 days in 2020 November, and now is 18 days. Now I'm going to go very quickly, jump into the average price for detached home. It in 416 is 1.8 million, and 905 is 1.5 million for detached. Semi, 1.43 million in 416 and 1,070,000 in 905 area. Townhome average price in 416 981,759, and 905 $955,000. And condo apartment 745,951 in 416 and 646,211 in 905 area. So let's go year over year percentage change. So how detached home, 22.3% increase in 416, and 32.7% increase in 905. Semi-detached, 23.4% in 416 area and 31.1% increase in 905 area. Townhome, 19.7% increase in 416 area and 31% increase in 905 area. Condo apartment, 16.5% increase in 416 and 21.1 in 905 area. Now I'm going to give you, remember I predicted that we will be touching 125,000 sales in this year, in 2021. So last year, in 2020, we have 95,066 transaction, and average price was 929,636. As of November 30th, we have 115,716 transactions. An average price, 416 905 area across all type of houses, $1,092,212. So we still have yet to come one more December rating. So you're watching Realty Coffee Talk. If you are a home builder, developer, lawyer, real estate brokerage, renovator, painter, plumber, and appraiser, mortgage agent, broker, or brokerage, real estate brokerage, involved in real estate buying and selling, I have negotiated a special deal with Samina Jabin, who she is the managing director of Awaz Entertainment. To call her 647-484-0018, and she will give you a very special discount because you are a viewer of Realty Coffee Talk. Please visit realtycoffeetalk.com and subscribe my YouTube channel so you can learn more about all the episodes that are aired on Awaz Entertainment in Canada around the world. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next Thursday at 7 p.m. Bye for now. May God bless you all.